a little bit since I've done a podcast. I've just been busy with meets and prep and a lot of stuff. And I don't know, I guess I've been kind of lazy with it. I'm coming back in today, starting off with like a slew of questions that people have been asking me that I've answered or maybe haven't answered. But if you're wondering why I have all this shit around, yes, I added a plant. Here's my water cup, my coffee. This is whipped peanut butter, whipped buttercream frosting that I bought the other day. And I'm eating it right now because it's delicious. And then Seta brought me a bunch of these little Reese's Pieces things.
What's on the mug?
What?
What's on the mug?
None of you.
It's not.
None of your business.
The people want to know.
No. And I knew you were going to ask that. That's why I'm asking the question.
Oh,
I knew.
got it. Stay tuned.
No one's allowed to know. Anyways, I'm just going to jump right into it. Some of these questions are dumb, stupid, informative, and I would say maybe being brutally honest about stuff. But anyways, here we go. One of the questions. What's up with all the late teens and early 20s young men getting smaller? This is a simple, very simple answer. They only care about Instagram or Snapchat or whatever the fuck social media platform they're posting on. They are looking, as long as they starve themselves and look leaner, people think that they're big. So they're getting like this like recognition, and it's really I wouldn't say confusing them, but making them think that it's okay to be like this like sub like 150 pound wannabe man. Like, I'm sorry, if you're under 200 pounds, you're not a man. It's gonna hurt a lot of feelings, but it's true. I don't give a fuck. You're a man. Fucking eat. So I think it has to do with, anyways, my question, I think it has to do with social media. I think it has to do with like just poor influence that like people are seeing these really tiny, and they look big, but you meet them in person and they're literally smaller than Seta. There's a guy, I'm not going to say his name, he trains at a gym and he looks big on Instagram and he weighs the same as Seta. And he's about as tall as her too. But it's fucking hilarious. Like, she's a 42-year-old woman. She shouldn't be fucking bit more muscular than you. You know, she doesn't take testosterone. This guy does. You know, so it's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're fucking starving yourself. You're a moron.
There are many people who fit in that category. Not just
yes, but I'm just saying there's in person. Okay, why is it in the young groups? I think I explained that because I think they're the most prone to like pressures or influenced by social media where I don't give a fuck. You're never gonna see me post a video. I don't give a fuck about myself. I care about members of the gym and and henceforth. I mean, yes, like I haven't really been training like optimally because I've been working on everyone else. Everyone's got to meet. Always fucking in my gym, someone's got to meet coming up. So I haven't been able to really, but I still wouldn't post my lifts anyways. To be honest, I don't give a fuck. I come from a generation where we didn't have cameras. I'm 47, so we didn't take videos of ourselves. We didn't take pictures of ourselves because we, like, what really mattered was how like we felt, how strong we felt, and then you always look different off camera as you do in camera. They say camera adds 20 pounds. Well, guess what? It adds 20 pounds of muscle too to people. So like they're much smaller in person. Anyways, why is it these same kids are strong for a few years, then you don't see them anymore competing or training at the same level? Because they're hurt. They're starting off, they're worried about strength instead of technique. So they're just pushing them, they're chasing the number instead of like chasing like how to do the movement correctly. So what you're seeing is these people with huge squats or deadlifts hitting it at a very young age when they've only been training for a couple of years, and they do it and they continue to do it, and then they're trying to chase that max that they had, which they're not able to keep continually getting because their technique sucks, and all the little things that normal people do to get to that level, like guys like, you know, in my generation, like you had to do a ton of things to get to that strength level. They're skipping all those steps, so their body's just breaking the fuck down. And then all of a sudden, you don't see them lifting. There's one like some guy Lane or something like that. Joe talks about him like he was like deadlifting like 800 pounds, and now you don't see this fucking guy at all because he broke his back. You know, it's this happens. Like you have to make, you know, your muscles have to get bigger and stronger. The fibers got to get stronger. Your tendons got to get thicker and stronger. Tendons do not get thick overnight. It takes time. And then the biggest one is bones. Your bones have to fracture, microfracture, heal, microfracture, heal. Now, if you're putting the pedal down the whole time and killing yourself, how the microfracture is going to heal? They just get like worse and worse, and then they fracture. It starts to splinter. So you have all these splinters all over the place. And I think that's what you're seeing a lot. You're seeing a lot of serious injuries with people in the band shirts, because these are people that, you know, over the course of a couple months are lifting hundreds and hundreds of pounds over what they ever lifted, and they're just fucking going 100 miles per hour, and they're doing all this damage to their bones. They don't realize it, and then all of a sudden one day a bone blows through their arm, or they break a bone. You know, they fracture a bone, and you don't realize it. Like, but I'm telling you, like, you cannot, if your forearms are in pain every day, stop lifting, stop benching for at least a week or two, and you'll come back and you'll feel better. You'll feel stronger because your bones are not recovered. So you're just splintering them. You know, it's like you hit a piece of concrete, and it's like it makes the one crack. Then you keep hitting it, right? Now, if you were to like let it cure and put more, you know, like fix the crack, it would be good. But if you keep hitting that spot over and over, it makes more cracks. I'm not sure everyone understands this because people are doing this and they're getting hurt. But what the fuck do I know? I guess. Yeah. So what I see is like what I'm seeing now with the band shirts is literally, and I'm sure anyone that was at Westside back in the day, like the original back in the day, will attest to this. Like how Louis' main thing was like, we went in and it was like, you're always fucking hammering it. You're always 100 miles per hour. You're always fucking trying to lift as heavy as you could, regardless of technique, regardless of if you had an injury, regardless of how your body felt fucked up. It was all about just fucking more every fucking week after week. And there was an enormous amount of injuries. Enormous amount of fucking injuries out of all those groups. People blowing shit off, breaks, all kinds of fucking shit. And then you saw years of people learning from that, the later groups, so like Dave Hoff and stuff, like taking it and like adjusting to that form of conjugate and not always like killing yourself. And when you feel fucked, like backing off, you know, if you feel injured, backing off for a week or two. And that lasted for a long time. And then the band shirts came out and people are just fucking right back in there. You know, it's because like, regardless of how you feel, the band is a certain thing. You're using it as you would raw. So you can keep adding weight to it. Now, that doesn't mean you're not having all that pressure on your bones. This is my 2 cents, and I don't want to see people get hurt, but it's going to happen. Anyhow, so like I have Seta in a band shirt for her next meet. She's been in a poly shirt for the last 2 years. She was raw for years. Then she was in a poly shirt for 2 years, single ply. And she's done 300 pounds in a poly shirt. Her bones are strong enough. And then I've been taking her over the last 3.5, 4 months to add, 80, 100 pounds. And you take it like this. So she's actually done a bench shirt with bands over top with 350 pounds. So now she's close. She's like doing 395, 400, 410 with bands in her band shirt. And it's like, it's only like 40 to 50 pounds over what she's held. So, it's an average, if you think about it, that's like 10, 15 pounds a month. So her bones are able to adjust to that. I just want to say that in case anyone mentions why, like I've said it in a band shirt. and like Benny in a band shirt, because these kids have done other things and their bones are strong enough, but they're not doing something ridiculous. You know, they're increasing their band shirts only 100 pounds. And it's not that they could lift more. I won't let them. I'm not letting them get fucked up. Why are young men getting titties? Oh, this is fucking gotta be Olivia. This is my only explanation. Okay, I have no gyno, never had it. I did an enormous amount of tests. Insulin, growth hormone, IGF-1, Anadrol, DACA, D-ball. I was 350 pounds. I'm 5'7", so I was 350 pounds and I had abs at 350 pounds. Don't have gyno. Get a huge amount of the drugs. Don't have gyno. Why? I want to believe it's everyone. These kids smoke pot. If you look at all the kids that have gyno, they smoke pot. Every single one. When you take tests and you elevate your test with synthetic testosterone, and you're smoking pot, which elevates your estrogen, your test as it is, like a lot of people, and I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people, when your test raises, your natural estrogen wants to raise to stay in like homeostasis. So your body's naturally, if you're one of those unlucky people where like your estrogen's trying to raise anyways, and now you're so you're like your test is here, your estrogen here. You take synthetic tests and it goes up. So now your natural estrogen wants to rise to stay in homeostasis, and then you're smoking pot. Now it's up here, but your testosterone isn't getting higher, right? Because you've only taken this much test. So because of that ratio rose, you're transitioning to be a female. Just kidding. You're getting gyno. Stop smoking pot. It's that fucking easy. Stop smoking pot, and it'll not 100% go away, but it'll be a lot better. Except for Brock. Like Brock has he has gyno on one breast. He does smoke pot though. But he doesn't take tests. But he has just one, which is really weird. But sorry to call you out there, Brock. It's kind of funny though. Blah blah blah. Why is Olivia crazy? There's a lot of reasons why Olivia is crazy. Her father left years ago. She used to be fat. She used to get picked on. She's a lot like me. She hangs out with me too much, maybe. I don't know. She's fucking nuts. But I don't know the real reason behind it, but she's crazy. Don't start a pissing fight with her, because she will verbally destroy you. I've seen it. Guys, you're not going to win this one with her. You just won't. You can't win a fight with a girl by picking on her who's been picked on so bad. She doesn't give a fuck what you say. She will break you down. She'll look for every little insecurity and weakness, and she'll crush you. Okay. Anyways. Seen her do it. And I think it's fucking funny. And I let it happen. The importance of which type of shoe you wear while lifting. I'm not a fan of the high-heeled shoes for lifting. Now, I can see a purpose for it with Olympic lifts, because you're trying to be explosive up and getting a bar up over onto your chest. So you have to lean forward to get it. So you're building leverage to pop back, kind of like a deadlift, kind of like like a teeter-totter. But in squatting, if you're wearing heels, you're placing all the emphasis on your quads. When placing all the emphasis on your quads, you're taking out your hamstrings, your glutes, and your hips. Which, for some reason, people think you're quad. They think quad. They think four. They think that's a bigger muscle than the whole backside of you. It's not. That's it. The biggest squatters all squat in either flat shoes. So that's the reasoning behind it. Now, a lot of people. I'm a Converse person for life. I switched to, what was it, Sabo?
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Sabo, whatever the fuck it's called. There's a ton of them like that. I know Barefoot has them. And there's a bunch of different brands, but you want to get because I've been in Converse for years, said it was like people that you have like this toe thing where it pushes your toe because they come to a point. So Converse will push your toes, and I know Vans are a little bit wider, but they're still not wide enough. But then Vans are a little thicker, so when you're deadlifting, you're higher up from the ground, so it's just not the best positioning. So I would say it's the best would be a flat shoe with a a wide toe box. And I honestly think the Sabo is the best one I've ever tried. No, I haven't tried the barefoot one, the one by Christoph, and he's part of some company that does them. But those are expensive and they take forever. Seth has been waiting for a custom-made shoe from Overkill for 2 fucking years, and we paid $290 for it. Still isn't here. So I can't say that one will be better than the Sabo. I don't know. Maybe she'll get it one day. I don't fucking know. But as of right now, I would say take with the Sabo. I have a pair. A lot of people at our gym who've talked to me into getting them, and their squat has felt better. They're able to spread their toes and force out. Why do people squat and deadlift barefoot? I think it's because most shoes are restrictive. Push their toes in. They can't spread their toes. They can't arch out and sit and spread their feet. So they can do it barefoot, so they do that. And most federations don't let you do that, so you do that, and then you go back into a tight shoe, and your whole fucking lift is wrong. So as much as I'm for lifting barefoot, because I love doing it, if you don't have a shoe with a wide toe box to put on when you compete, don't fucking do it. It's my bet. This is from Nick G. What if somebody broke into your house and attacked you during this podcast? He always answers me some wild, like, what if fucking questions. Well, Nick, if somebody broke in here right now and attacked me during this podcast, I think you should be preparing to dig a hole somewhere for them, because they're not going to be found ever again. I don't know what I would do to them, but they would not walk out of here, nor would they be alive. I don't give a fuck. And this is New York State, so I probably wouldn't even go to jail. Next. Do I believe in a natural strength barrier? And can you continue to always make gains, even if minor? I'm assuming this is like not taking tests or any type of steroid. And so here's the thing with the natural strength barrier. When you're young and you have natural tests and your growth hormone's fucking high, like 15 to like 23, you're good. Maybe 25, 26, 27. Once you reach close to 30 or 30 years old, your natural test starts to plummet. Your natural growth hormone starts to plummet. So although you might be making very small minor gains, if the people that do make those are the ones that are really emphasizing no drugs, no alcohol, 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night, like 100% on with their diet, 100% on with recovery. But even that, so the older you get, the lower your natural test, the lower your growth hormone. There is going to come a point where it's going to reverse and you're going to start getting weaker and you start getting smaller. Now, to me, I'm like, why would you fucking wait to then? If you're strongest and all your natural hormones are highest in your 20s, early late 20s, that's when you should be taking tests and steroids in early 20s, because now you're just overemphasizing everything that's already perfect in your body at this highest level, and you're gonna have the best gains. Because I'll tell you right now, you ain't gonna be able to put the hand. You're not gonna be able to go as hard as long as you can when you're older. Like me, I can't squat and deadlift every week. It fucking destroys me. I'm 47 years old, so I've been fooling around with some stuff, and I used to years ago only do it every other week. So now I'm squatting 1 week, deadlifting 1 week, and that's I can do accessories. I can do good mornings. I can do bodyweight box squats, stuff like that, lunges. But as far as the actual squat, you can only do it every other week. Which if I'm on a 4-week wave, now I'm on an 8-week wave. But that's the only way I can fucking do it now, to be honest. So, and I'm older, and I'm on test. So, age recovery, I said that. So, what's the best pizza I feel in Mayapack? I went to a place called Cacciatore Pizza, and it's next to, what's that? That sushi place set in Mayapack. The big one. Kobo? The Kubo or Kobo or whatever the fuck it's called?
I have one of the other.
Something like that, right? I went there one day, guys. I drive somewhere for something out in Mayapack. So I stopped there. I was starving. I think I was in between clients at the gym. So I stopped there and walked in, and a sign. I was like, you always get curious because I had a pizza shop and I use grande cheese and no one around here does. It is by far the best cheese for pizza. It's the best cheese for everything. They have a product for every fucking thing you could possibly cook or use. Mozzarella, ricotta, anything like that. So I went in there and I got calzone because that would be like true test. Like, what kind of like ricotta cheese? What kind of mozzarella? So I got a calzone, and it was fucking delicious. It tasted close to mine. And I asked them, and they said they use grande cheese. And I was like, I asked them, I go, do you use grande cheese? Like, how do you know? And I was telling them, pizza shop, blah, 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 whatever. So anyways, I can go on about this because it was fucking really good. Not as good as mine, but it was good. And the sauce was burnt. It's because that's a whole nother story. But the sauce was disappointing. But they had good flavor. They just burned the fucking sauce. They should have thrown it all away. But a lot of people make these giant fucking container of it, and they don't want to throw it all away. Me, I would have thrown the fucking thing away. You burn it. I would kill someone if they burned my sauce, first of all. But anyways, yes, cacciatore. I think I'm saying it right. Cacciatori. Pizza and more. Pizza and pasta, whatever the fuck it's called. But that is the best. I don't know about the pizza, but I'm assuming it's good because the calzone is fucking amazing. What is my favorite lift? Over time, I think everyone, like, if you power lift long enough, you've like switch those. But right now it's the squat. It's majority of my life it's been my favorite, and I like the squat. I think it's the one that is the most controllable by technique, and there's little things you can do that fix it so much better than like a bench or a deadlift. Plus, you can squat, you can box squat, like 60% of your weeks, and that can increase your deadlift. If you're doing it with like a camber bar or say a squat bar, you can increase your deadlift without even having the deadlift. So say the squat, it's a big one. So 2 lifts in 1. My favorite exercise, definitely seal rows. Seal rows on a steel bench, and heavy. Doing 5s. But I'm not lazy. You want to pull them up, hold at the top for a second and a half, and then press out like you're pressing a bench, second and a half. So it's, you want to literally mimic the bench. So you're pulling, holding, it's kind of like you pause on the bench, and then press out and hold like you would to lock at top. And I think that's probably got the best carryover for your bench. Plus, your upper back, rear delt, scapula works that for your deadlift and your squat. But it's fun. I love it. I love doing it heavy as fuck. And you can't cheat that if you're bouncing in and just fucking yourself up. If you're coming up, pausing that out, you're not cheating that. And you can do it with as heavy fucking weight as possible. You're not going to fucking get hurt. And it's going to always stay on the right muscles. My least favorite exercise is definitely deficit conventional deadlift. I fucking hate it. I don't even know when the last time I did it was. I started conventional pulling again because I know I need to. I force everyone else to do it, but I don't do it myself because I hate it. But I started doing it again myself. A deficit conventional is probably my least favorite fucking exercise, especially in like briefs. I mean, it's hard enough to get down to the bar when it's fucking on the ground, and then you throw a 2-inch deficit. You want to kill yourself to get down to that bar. I usually am like holding on my fingertips. I can't get all the way locked in. But it's got a good benefit. I mean, you have to sit down further, load your back further, your hips, glutes. So there is, I don't think it's something that you should do all the time if you're a sumo puller, but I think it's necessary. Why? Why was, I'm not going to get into who this person is. Why was Matt getting smaller and weaker the last 3 months leading up to when he left the gym? This is answered easily. Just because you take tests, a lot of people believe like you can not give a fuck about recovery. You can not sleep. You can smoke pot all the time. You can drink all the time. You can take mushrooms. You can skip workouts. I said not eat, right? Yeah, not eat, something like that. They think you can do all this shit and coast. Does not work that way. I'm sorry, but testosterone, steroids, there's no magic fucking pill. I mean, the people that actually use this stuff correctly and have been lifting for years know that. For some reason, these kids don't. There's no magic pill. If you don't work hard, you might get away with it for a while, like he did, but then it comes a point where, like, nah, you get you get strong enough, and it's like, nah, your body's like, nah, I don't fucking think so. So you just fucking drop. And he kept getting weaker and smaller. And then somehow in his mind, he thought, oh, I'm getting smaller. It's because I'm powerlifting. Well, everyone else is getting bigger with my. We do a powerlifting movements and bodybuilding movements at the same time. So we are powerlifters. I hate that power building thing, but powerlifting to me, conjugate style powerlifting is a combination of both. So everyone else is getting bigger and stronger at the same time with the program, except Matt because he's doing things wrong. So he thought he wanted to do my old bodybuilding program that I used to do, and I had to eat 8,000 calories to fucking maintain that type of workout, and it destroyed him. It totally destroyed him. Why did he leave the gym? There's a bunch of parts to this, but he was getting weaker. He was doing this bodybuilding thing. He was getting smaller. I think we were all deadlifting. He missed that. He said he wanted to start squatting with us again. And Matt even lied to me a lot. He lied about every little thing, where he was. He would say he missed the gym because he was with his family for Easter, and I found out he wasn't with them because they said he wasn't. He said he was working when the other people who trained at our gym worked there too, and they worked that day, and Matt was not working. And then he said he was with his father, and he wasn't. Like, it was just if you're going to get fucked up and you're hungover, or you're going to see some whore or whatever, just fucking tell me the truth. Listen, I'm not gonna get mad. You're the one that's fucking losing strength. You're the one losing gains. You're the one fucking hurting your own self. I don't like being lied to. That's it. I put all these people at the gym, especially the core, like our powerlifters, I put them before myself. I've missed a lot. That's why I said, like, I have a meet I'm gonna do in November, and I've been training optimally, but like after their meet, it's about all of them are doing a meet in September. After that meet ends, they off to do fives, and they're kind of like on the sideline, and as far as my powerlifting group, and I have to fucking focus for myself to do a meet. But I put all them before me, so I don't feel I deserve to be lied to when I put all these guys in my powerlifting group before me. Especially when I'm answering phone calls because they're sad about their dad or their life at 2 in the morning. You know, I'm sorry to call him out, but you know what? There's a lot of bullshit about this, and he's lying, and it's like, I'm sick of people talking shit about my gym and me. You know, like, I fucking do everything for my members, and you can ask anyone that's a fucking member there. If you're an outlier, if you have left the gym and get kicked out of the gym, it's because you are a fucking asshole. You're an asshole to me, or to the group, or my members. And you know what? You don't fucking deserve to be there anymore then. But he actually left on his own. I kicked him out of the powerlifting group because he lied to me and skipped another workout in this horrendous fucking lie. And told me he couldn't be part of the powerlifting group. I mean, he wasn't, because he was doing this bodybuilding thing. And then he said he wanted back in, and he promised he'd be there. He promised in front of everyone, and then he didn't show up, and then didn't send me a message for 12 hours later. And then his excuse was my new powerlifting suit, my squat suit didn't come in. So I didn't think I should come in. But I'm going to come in tomorrow. Can all of you guys help me on the mono? No. No. You selfish fuck. No. So, sorry, I get a little pissed off, but it still irks me because I love the kid, but he's a lazy, lying fuck. That's why he left the gym. Why are young kids lazy? I don't know. I've never been lazy. I wasn't lazy at 12. I've always pushed myself as hard as I could. I used to get up and run. My block was not a huge block, but pretty big, my neighborhood. And I'd run around it 40 times before I even went to school in the morning from 12 years on up. So I don't know. I don't know. But they are. When first learning briefs in deadlifts, how long till it feels easier than raw? Okay, well, that's a tricky question. Like, how long till it feels easier than raw? Like, I don't think it ever feels easier than raw, because it always sucks to get down and grab that bar, unless if you shrink in size and the suit's not tight. If it's tight and it fits you properly, it should always be held getting down to that bar. I mean, and then in trying to get it, you're fighting to get the weight, and you're fighting the suit out. You're fighting the suit back, and you're fighting the suit out. So the suit's trying to collapse you, and you're trying to fight it. At the same time, you're trying to fight the weight. So it should never feel easier. I mean, the weight gets lighter, the weight becomes more optimally like pulled. But as far as easier, no, it fucking sucks. Um, Next, get a sip of my Al coffee here. My Folgers. That made me laugh. Good to the almost last drop, even cold. Anyways, okay. Who has motivated or inspired me the most in powerlifting? I don't know about. I think as far as like deadlift and squat, I think I was motivated myself. But for bench, definitely like growing up, this guy Joey Smith, Nebo Barbell. I think it's North Carolina. It could be South Carolina. I'm sorry, Joey. I'm not positive it's South or North, but he was, and he's still, he's older than me. He still is. He's using a band shirt now. He's still hitting huge numbers. He started squatting and other things, hitting huge numbers. Uh, he inspires me. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm never gonna stop like him. It's never gonna happen. Always find a way to be stronger. His best raw was 500 pounds. His best poly shirt was 843, and this is years ago. And I think it was like a metal shirt, so it wasn't like some like fucking souped up fucking like completely 100% tailored bench shirt. What that 843 back then in that shirt was fucking amazing. If he would have had like a shirt nowadays, the ones they make nowadays, poly shirts, he probably would have benched 1,000 pounds. So, and he's a fucking great guy. He's got a good team with powerlifters, and his wife works with him and stuff. And yeah, he inspires me. I like to think my group is the same. I try to do everything I can for my powerlifters too. Which powerlifter would you like to meet? I would like to meet him. I've never met Joey in person. I've like come by him. I've seen him, but I haven't like met him in terms like people say they meet people. To me, it's like you meet people you've like hung out with them. It doesn't matter if you don't actually hung out with them and you've like shared an evening with them or something like that. Like that's when you really meet somebody. Not saying hey, shake a hand, fucking how you doing. I would love to bench with him. Sometime everything's not so busy. I would love to go down to his gym and bench with him. Me and Seta go bench with him for the weekend. I would love that. What exercise I don't do but I miss? I would say banded, like dynamic bench. I used to love it. I loved how explosive it felt. I felt powerful, and it just felt, I don't know, it's like I could just completely fucking just like explode. I don't know, it felt great. I like doing it. I don't know if it had a great carryover to my bench, but I love to do it. And no, I can't because my left shoulder has been fucked up. I tore my rotator cuff over and over. So I think 3 times now. The last time I did was last October. But I've just been able to bench again the last 2.5 months, something like that. But it's always after like the second time I did it, fucking I can do it and it hurts a little bit, and after a while like I do it 2 weeks in a row and then my shoulder's fucking inflamed. So that's the one thing I miss. I really miss doing that, and I don't do it, and that's why I'm not a big fan of doing it more than 1 week at a time. Like I'm okay with doing like banded like max effort bench because you're not moving it as fast, so it's just tension. But as far as doing it for speed, I just can't do it. So I don't program it every single week. I'll do more chains more than bands, more than likely, especially for Seta. Like people who are like women, I think they should do chains. I think it's more beneficial. How long should new lifters train raw before going equipped? This I don't think it matters. Even said when I started training her, I changed her squat, changed her deadlift, changed her bench. I pulled her benching closer to work her triceps, so eventually in a shirt, her triceps were strong enough to lock big weights out. But her squat and deadlift, I pushed her out. I made her sit back and everything, and I tried to prepare her so when she get into the gear, she was already doing that type of motion, and it worked. So, but I don't think it. I think as long as you are like training like a true conjugate, so like your main lift is in gear, and then all your accessories and all your other lifts are wrong. You're training more like a bodybuilding type thing. You're fixing, then you're improve. Wait, and then you're you're fixing all those little things. So I think that's. I don't think there's a reason to wait. Like it says that you can only do so much. So, if your back's not strong enough and you're benching in a bench shirt and it's folding you in when you come down, you're pulling in, it's folding you in. I mean, just don't go as heavy. Maybe go use a ram for the majority of the time, and like every 3 or 4 weeks, put a bench shirt on so that you learn to spread the bar, keep your elbows out wide, and your back is strong enough to keep the bar spread, so that eventually, every 4th week you're working in the shirt, and then you're able to actually spread and keep your elbows out. It doesn't fucking cave you in. What's that?
I meant for someone who's like never touched a barbell before.
You ever touched a barbell ever?
Yeah.
Well, no. They have to learn how to. Well, I mean, that's a whole other thing. That's
Right, so
beyond.
How long?
It could be a fucking 1,000 years. If they never figure out a hip hinge, if they never figure out how to fucking tuck their shoulders when they bench. No, never.
Assuming things are.
I don't like those questions. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Well,
I just don't like them.
typical.
No, but it's not typical, because I see a lot of people that can't figure out how to do shit right raw. So if they can't figure out
I'm
that,
saying you wouldn't put someone from day one into gear that's never touched a barbell.
yes, if they were strong enough to do it. Yeah, listen, if day one they walked in, they were supposed to say, first I benched correctly. First time I squatted right. First time I deadlifted. Not as optimally as I did, but it wasn't bad. And I've seen people that touch a fucking barbell the first time and they move things correctly. So I'm not going to answer that question. I don't feel it.
So it is possible to.
You have to know how to use a hip hinge.
Okay.
You have to know how to bench correctly, and that there's people that are athletes that have like benched, have done push-ups and have just like moved their body correctly in life and understand muscle control. So when I say sit back, push your hips out, like you can do it. And it's like Giacomo was good from the start. He was a child. If there was children's quit lifting, he would have been able to do it. Like he fucking always did shit right. You can watch the videos of him first ever benching, and he's fucking moving. It's like a 10-pound bar, and he's moving it correctly. He's got his lats loaded, he's pushed up, and it's like, how can he do it? Well, he's been watching people in the gym do it. So when he grabs a bar, he's able to control what he sees in his body, where most people can't. But I'm not saying they can't.
Okay.
I mean, I made a homemade slingshot for him, and he. I had 20 pounds the first time he put it on to do his bench, because he knows how to spread and pull out and drop in to the bench. So that's it. That's why I don't like those questions, because it's like they're very open, but they're so open-ended that it's like it doesn't, it's not typical.
But basically, I was trying to get at is you don't have to do raw and then equipped. If the cards are aligned,
but it's not. It's only dependent on the person's
right. But I'm saying if the cards
ability.
are aligned, you could technically go straight.
There's a lot of people that are equipped that shouldn't even be in a suit.
Oh yes.
In a bench shirt. So I mean, a lot. I'm nothing to do with their misuse. They don't know how to fucking move their body right. So, and they've been lifting for years, equipped, and they still don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay.
But how does Hawking have such luscious curls? I think it's because he's transitioning. Okay, maybe not. But I don't know. Genetics. I don't know what his mother looks like. Maybe I met her. I don't remember. Do remember his father. Don't remember his hair at all. He's like from some Nordic fucking country. So I don't know. Maybe he's part of Thor's family. I have no idea. But I am jealous, and I want some of that hair. Fucker, you owe me hair, bitch. Locks of love for me. Hawking, locks of love for your coach. Come on. I have no fucking hair. And my last question was, who at the gym has surprised me the most, and in a positive way? The negative way was obviously Matt, but in a positive way. Um, there is no person that comes to mind more than Benny, my 17-year-old kid here. I 100% believed he was going to just fuck. He got hurt because he wasn't listening to the box squat. He was, all his accessories were like shit. He was trying to pull strength over technique. And he tried to increase his box squat by dropping in and bounding off the box instead of squeezing in, keeping tension on the box and driving up and out. So that when it translated to a free squat, he would completely fucking collapse to the bottom because he was never keeping tight on the bottom. And he was young. He was 16. He said he was fucking everywhere. But he has, without a doubt, surprised me more than anyone. I fucking hope this kid fucking, stays with me and just fucking does shit right. He's got an enormous amount of anger like I did at young age. That's why I was always strong. But it can backfire on you. I hope he just fucking, he puts this first for, and realizes that, like, he has a shot at doing something fucking that most people cannot do. Like 99.9% of people cannot do. He has a gift, and he's not the most athletic person, but he does work the hardest. So I hope he continues. And with that said, don't turn into Matt, Benny. Don't ever be a Matt. That's all.